Hello there everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're here with the coin from the state of Israel. This here being a standard circulation 1 lira coin from the pound currency period of, well, Israel. Now the pound currency was from 1960 up until 1980 and was linked to the British pound, being a 1-to-1 equivalency. Now obviously, as I did say, the pound currency ended in 1980. Thus, this coin is actually demonetized. It was demonetized in 1984 as of the 31st of March. So, let's go and give this coin a few quick stats, shall we? This coin here is a copper nickel coin, has a weight of 9 grams, a diameter of 27.5 millimeters, a thickness of 2 millimeters, and is in the medal alignment. Let's go off and talk about the obverse here. So, the first thing here that you'll go off and probably notice is that the coin actually has 3 languages written on it. In the top left, we can see Hebrew. On the bottom, we can see English. And just next to that, we can see Sanskrit. Now, all 3 of these here basically just translate to the word Israel. English obviously not being translated for this video, but that's how it is. And this here, funnily enough, is actually the coin with the most languages of any coin I have in my entire collection. The majority usually only having 2, their native language and English. This one obviously breaks that tradition and has 3, which is pretty nice. Now, let's go off and talk about the actual designs here. Now, sticking with the theme of 3, we have 3 stylized grenadine flutes there, just sitting there in the sort of centre-ish area. It's a very nice design, quite simplistic and quite angular, which I still think is quite nice. Now down to the bottom left of it, just next to the base of those 3 fruit, we can see the Mahora flanked by olive branches, this here being the state emblem of Israel. Now underneath that we can see a little bit more writing. It's a bit hard to see, but just underneath the menorah there, or I'm probably pronouncing that wrong to be honest. But underneath that we can see a Hebrew script basically saying Israel. And that's about it for this side of the coin, really. It was designed by Rothschild and Lippmann, I believe their names are, and that's about it. It's pretty interesting, and that is what it is, really. And if you flip it over onto the sides here, you can't see it on camera, as the camera does not like to focus on this, but it has a smooth edge and then a milled edge, and it repeats that pattern 5 times around the edge of the coin. I've actually scrapped a recording because it didn't focus again after I did that previously. Alrighty. Now, we're on to the reverse of the coin here. This here is actually pretty interesting as well, as it has a callback to over 2,000 years ago. The 2 stars, which you can see here and here, next to the number 1, are actually callbacks to an early coin from about 103 BC, from Alexander Janus, apparently. From what I can read online, that is. Now, this here is actually just a really old callback. However, that is to go off and be remembered, as this here is a coin minted in Jerusalem, meaning that the history of the region is very rich indeed. Right. Now, with that out of the way, let's go off and start looking at some of the text here. I have a translation on screen, as I could not read this for the life of me. So, what we have here is the number 1, as I did previously mention. And underneath that, we have the word lira, and then the word Israeli, and then the word 1. Now, this here is actually the easiest part, as up next, we have to go off and look at the Hebrew calendar. Now, as you can see on the bottom there, you can see some smaller text, and this here actually translates to the numbers 5735, I believe. Now, 5735 in the Hebrew calendar translates to 1975, thus this coin being a 1975 1 lira coin. Now, as an overall, this coin here isn't actually too valuable, funnily enough, as apparently there's quite a lot of them. But, regardless, the coin can still pull typically around £1.50 to £2, which for you Americans out there would be something along the lines of $2 up until $3 to $3.50. And as an overall, I'd say that's a pretty good value for a coin, really. I quite like the coin, as this here is actually a coin that I picked up in an airport as a kid. And I've basically just had it in a little box for a very long time and sort of forgot about it until recently, and I just took it out and wow, I gotta say, the memories did flood back. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is actually the end of it, so please do remember to go off and leave a like down below. And do subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think. Alrighty everybody, you guys all have a good night or a good day, and ta-ta!